All right, welcome everybody. The next speaker is Chuck Miller with the Light the Night. He's the campaign director for the Central Ohio chapter of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. He's been with them for 6 years. This is a project that the secular community is working with to try to raise $1 million to fight these blood cancers. We're trying to get a lot of teams. I think our goal is 100 teams, $1 million, to really show people that you can be good without believing in God. This kind of charitable work is really important, and we're partnering with them and really encouraging all students to get involved on their campuses, do what they can in the summer, and then as soon as the school year starts up again, organize a team, get your team moving, fundraising, and participating in these walks. Previously, Chuck was with the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. He's here in Central Ohio, but he can speak to how you can get involved and the program in general. So let's welcome Chuck.
Thanks, Jesse. Okay, can you hear me? I'm not used to these things, so I usually just shout, so I'll do my best. Thanks, Jesse. I'd like to just really wish you all a good morning and welcome you to the Light the Night presentation. Okay, that's on wheels, so I can't hold on to that. Okay. My name's Chuck Miller, and I am the campaign director for the Light the Night Walk here in Central Ohio. On behalf of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, I'd like to welcome you as well and thank you for being here today in this presentation. Okay, today you'll learn about the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and how you can help us fulfill our mission to cure leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, and myeloma, and to improve the quality of life of patients and their families. Personally, I'm proud to be a part of LLS. As Jesse mentioned, I've been with the organization about 6 years now. Most of that time, the last little over 5 years, working on the Light the Night campaign. I'm very, very proud of what we as an organization stand for and have accomplished, and that we are the leader in the fight against blood cancers in the world, and one of the leading organizations also in the world in the fight against all cancers and supporting our patients and their families. Want to let you know a little bit about the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We are a powerhouse among nonprofits searching for cancer cures. We're the world's largest voluntary health agency dedicated to funding blood cancer research and providing patients and their families with much needed support services and programming, as well as professionals in communities with programming. We have 61 chapters here in the United States and Canada, including our local chapter here in Central Ohio. For those of you from Ohio, we have 3 chapters in the state of Ohio. LLS has been instrumental in funding blood cancer research that has become standard therapies for many other cancers. This includes such things as radiation therapy, chemotherapy, stem cell transplantation, and now the direction that we are focusing our research, which is oral therapy, pills. We are one of the leading organizations in the world, and we're going to do away with chemotherapy, radiation, and bone marrow transplant, stem cell transplants someday. That's our goal. In short, we are a nonprofit leader making an impact in the fight against cancer. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what we do, our research. We invest in blood cancer research. Blood cancers are the number 3 cancer killer currently. That's behind respiratory, which includes lung, and digestive cancers, which includes colon cancers. We account for about 10% of all cancer deaths. Research is the answer, and LLS funds more blood cancer research than any other charitable organization in the United States. Since our founding, LLS has invested more than $814 million in research. But I want to talk about last year and the previous 5 years. We have tremendously increased our fundraising capacity and our capacity to fund research around the world. We're funding research in the United States, Canada, and 9 other countries in the world currently, with about 400 active research projects. Last year alone, we funded more than $76 million in research worldwide. That's almost 10% of that total. And that has been significantly growing from the 50s to the 60s into the $70 million range, and hopefully up into the $80 million range and above in the coming years. So we have aggressively pursued fighting cancer worldwide. Blood cancer research is incredibly productive. Almost half of the new cancer drugs approved in the United States since 2000, 21 out of 50 cancer drugs were approved to treat one or more blood cancers. LLS helped advance every single one of these in one way or another. So I told you we're 10% of the cancer deaths. We've brought 42% of the product to market. That's astounding to me for cancer drugs since the year 2000. Additionally, we have been able to get many of these drugs approved to fight other cancers through additional research. 7 of them, and 14 of them have been recommended for further study for other cancers and for autoimmune disorders, and they're all showing promise. Blood cancer research has a broad life-saving impact. Many of the new drugs have already been developed to help beyond the blood cancer patients for whom they were first developed, including patients with solid tumors and autoimmune disorders, as I told you. Even with the current pace of progress, LLS is still not satisfied because many of our patients still need urgently these treatments. They're not available for all of our cancers. There's about 150 different blood cancers that fall primarily under leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, myeloma, and a few other syndromes. We are proactively driving research in areas of unmet medical need and partnering with companies to accelerate promising new therapies through the clinical trials that must be accomplished to bring patients new treatment options. I also want to talk about another thing we do in addition to research, if this will. There we go. We provide information and support services to our patient. That's the second part of the LLS mission. This is how we help with the quality of life for patients and their families. One of the services we are most proud to provide is our financial assistance program. We give patient financial aid to all patients undergoing treatment and offer copay assistance for those who qualify. It's a very generous income-based program. If you have insurance and your insurance is not covering all of the costs of your treatment for many of these diseases, we can offset usually up to $5,000 a year in copayment reimbursement for our patients, and for some of them with incredibly difficult, like myeloma, incredibly costly and difficult treatments that can be as much as $10,000 per year. Nationally, these two programs combined provided our patients and their families with more than $30 million in much-needed assistance last year alone. Our Patty Robinson Kaufman First Connection program connects a newly diagnosed patient with a peer, kind of like a cancer buddy, someone similar to their age, similar to their demographic, may or may not live in their area, depending on diagnosis. But this is someone who can really help them answer questions and get support. Not only answer questions about what to expect, but what not to expect. Often people tell them all these things, and nobody tells them what isn't going to be happening. So this is someone who's been through it. And from this, relationship, they become lifelong relationships, and we also get other people, once they've been down their cancer journey a little bit, to become those peers and be part of that program. So it's a growing network nationwide and worldwide. We also facilitate local support groups to help patients and their family members on their cancer journeys. Another thing that's not on this slide, but it is part of our educational programs and materials that I do want to mention, is our Trish Green Back to School program. When youth are diagnosed, usually it's leukemia or lymphoma, with a blood cancer, they're often going to be out of school for 2 to 3 years. Their immune systems are often destroyed or very weak for a long period of time. There are problems with growth. Organ systems don't develop right. There are a lot of complications for some of our kids. The good news is that childhood leukemia has a tremendous survivability right now, and it's growing, and that wasn't true even 20 years ago. We've made tremendous advances. One of the things that's critically important is getting kids back to school, back to life, back to their friends. We have an entire curriculum developed. We give it to social workers, nurses, principals. The other students are taught about what to do, what to expect, how to help teachers. Anyone who's involved in that child's health care, socialization, or education is included in this, and we make that available free of charge. It's a vital, vital part of getting kids back to life. Another thing that we do is we advocate nationally and locally on behalf of cancer patients. We have promoted legislation to improve patient lives and their cancer outcomes well into the future. We help to educate and mobilize volunteers to take action that will help us do that, to help our patients. LLS advocates grew to more than 56,000 volunteers in the United States and Canada last year. And I want to talk about oral chemotherapy coverage for a moment here. I mentioned earlier that we are moving the research we fund in the direction of all cancer treatment for the future. Not just treatment cures, all cancer cures for the future, away from chemotherapy, away from radiation, and away from stem cell transplantation. All of those things have helped. They also come at a great cost financially and to a person's body and their health. There are lifelong implications for kids often and adults. To do a stem cell transplant, you virtually destroy a person's immune system to make them eligible to take a host, and not everybody comes through that with the quality of health and life that we would like to see. So oral chemotherapy is the way of the future. That means pills. Taking a pill with breakfast, maybe taking one with dinner, depending on the pill. These have fewer side effects. They may be lifelong therapies, but they're getting our patients already back to life quicker, faster, with a better quality of life, and that's what this organization is about. There's a problem right now with oral chemotherapy coverage in this country. It is not covered at the same rate by a lot of insurance companies that bone marrow transplants, chemo, and radiation are. It is a greater cost to our patients, and not all of them can afford it. And this is not just for our patients, this is all cancer patients. We are working with other cancer organizations in this country at the federal level and at state levels to change this so that insurance companies are required to offer coverage for oral chemotherapy at an equitable rate that they do other therapies. We've made tremendous advances already, most recently in New York and Illinois. A member of our staff locally and other staffs locally was recently on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., meeting with our representatives to get this changed. We won't stop till we're done. The next thing I want to talk to you about is why I'm here, the campaign I work on, and what we want you to be a part of in your communities after you leave here, because nationally, FBB, the Foundation Beyond Belief, and the Secular Student Alliance, as well as other allied organizations, are involved with this. And that's the Light the Night Walk. Light the Night is our annual fundraising walk to really celebrate and commemorate lives touched by cancer. We have about 200 of these throughout the United States and Canada. The majority of them occur in September, late September, during the month of October, or in some of the western, southwestern parts of the country in hurricane zones in early November. In 2011, Light the Night Walks across North America raised an amazing $51 million to support our mission. That was a growth from $45 million the year before in 2010, and in 2009 we were at $38 million. This campaign grew by more than 33% in an economy where other organizations are seeing their walks go backwards. We are the leading growing walk in North America, and we're so excited to have you be a part of it. What we do is we have Champions for Cures. Champions for Cures carry illuminated balloons. Our balloons, you'll see in the video, they're awesome. Big 14-inch balloon, and there's a couple different balloons out there. The ones we use are 14 inches, got our logo on them, they got a light in them. And we walk after dusk, so the balloons are just popping. They flash, they strobe, and you will see, depending on the walk you're at, anywhere from hundreds to thousands of these flashing balloons as people walk the walk route after dusk. It changes your life. There's no other way to explain it. It puts our mission in perspective, because red balloons are carried by supporters, white balloons are carried by cancer survivors, and you don't have to be a blood cancer patient to carry a white balloon at Light the Night. We want every single cancer survivor there to carry a white balloon, because even though we're providing services and research directed at blood cancer, we are curing cancer for everybody, and we are creating survivors no matter what their cancer is. And then the gold balloons are carried in memory of someone that a team lost to a blood cancer. And most of our walks have ceremonies where those gold balloons are presented to the team and they can say their loved one's name. Some of our walks, like our walks here in Central Ohio, also have incorporated a survivor ceremony for the presentation of white balloons. What we do here, because we have the James Cancer Hospital, a leading cancer research facility in the world, right here in Columbus at Ohio State, is we have researchers who are funded by LLS, nurses who treat our patients at the James, and doctors who work at the James present the white balloons to all the cancer survivors. It is amazing to see it. And in different parts of the country, in Canada, at our different walks, similar approaches are taken. Anyone can take part. Children, adults, and seniors are all welcome. Most of our walks are in the mile to 2 mile range. They're on a surface that is easy for many people of different physical abilities to participate in. You'll see strollers, you'll see wagons, you'll see dogs. Most of our walks are dog friendly. As long as the dogs are friendly, they can handle stimulation and you pick up after them. It's kind of like a big outdoor picnic or a tailgate without the alcohol. It's just a real celebration of life for a few hours before it gets dark and we walk. So I'm talking a lot because I love this walk. It's changed my life, and I want you to participate. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just give you a feel by, hopefully, clicking on this link that Jesse helped me prove works and show you a little bit about Light the Night.
My sister Jen was having a cough that wouldn't go away, so she went to the doctor. The result was not that she had asthma or an infection, but that she had leukemia. Once the doctors told her that she wasn't going to make it, she looked me in the eye and she wagged her finger and said, "Just promise me, no matter what happens, you're still going to do the walk for me."
No matter how dark the night, the light always shines through.
Light the Night is moving.
It's just a night of hope. Like, everyone should have hope that they will make it through.
It's just a magical night.
It's a family event, it's a community event, and it's fun.
I think participation in the walk is a great way for a company to build some teamwork.
The most important fundraising event.
Hope for a cure.
Motivating.
Hope for families.
Inspirational.
Hope for our future.
It's one of those nights that I walk around with chills most of the night.
The nighttime with those balloons lighting up everywhere and just saying, I'm not in this alone.
I wish Jen had seen just one LLS, one Light the Night, because it's just such an amazing moment.
The red balloons are for the friends and family and the supporters. The white balloons are for the survivors, and the gold balloons are carried by families in remembrance of loved ones who did not survive.
Light the Night is symbolic of what the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is. It's hope. It's bringing people together, raising awareness, and getting the word out there that a cure needs to be found.
So my team is angels, and I have hats for everyone that say angel on them.
Jen became our team's inspiration, which our team is called Jen's Team.
His name was Israel Omar Garcia. His nickname was Papo, and that's our team name.
As many of our team members have family members that are battling blood cancers right now, and we wanted to know that every dollar we were raising was going to help just cure it.
My team has raised almost $40,000.
We've raised about $34,000, $35,000.
If she saw that we raised $30,000 in the end, she'd just be so amazed, so proud of us.
Over $100,000.
Over $2 million in the past decade.
You'd be amazed how people are willing to open their hearts and open their wallets for a charity that either you have a personal connection with and they may have a personal connection with and you just don't know it.
Don't be afraid to ask.
The first thing you need to do, obviously, is ask.
Just ask.
By sharing a personal story and why it means so much to you, you can touch that heartstring because people want to help you.
Through the email tool that the Leukemia Lymphoma Society has, as well as Facebook, we couldn't believe how responsive people were to just being asked.
The message is very simple. I'll repeat it. We need to find a cure to blood cancer, and to find a cure, we need good research for good research, we need money. So we need people to get involved.
The Leukemia Lymphoma Society has made a huge impact on advancing the science and medicine of leukemia and lymphoma.
Leukemia and Lymphoma Society has really filled the gap for us in terms of allowing us to continue to do really the high priority, cutting edge translational research.
A lot of the ideas that have come out of what they support is the way patients are treated today.
Money is essential. You can't do this kind of research without money.
We realize now the other solid tumors operate on principles that are often quite similar to those that occur in blood tumors. So it has kind of led to feel and new thinking, and that trickles down to all cancer research.
Well, I think this is really a critical time for supporting research because we literally are closer to a cure.
It's great to be involved in this research today because this is when it all changes.
I wouldn't be alive without the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society because they funded the researcher that came up with the drug that ultimately was called Gleevec. Other people need their miracles. I've got mine. Other people need theirs.
There's so many people that have been touched by this, and so many people that are hurt and sick. But together, we're a team. It'll get better if we continue with what we're doing and continue fundraising and just keep up the positive and motivate everyone else to help us.
Walk and light the night and raise funds for cancer research. Become a champion for cures by raising $100 or more. And on Walk Night, your commitment will be recognized with a Light the Night t-shirt, an illuminated balloon, and a wristband entitling you to food and refreshments. Be a champion for cures. Help people with cancer live better, longer lives by walking to light the night.
I would recommend Light the Night to everybody and anybody, and I do recommend. You feel so good when you leave. You feel like, wow, oh my God, so many people are affected by these diseases. But not only that, it's just how a community comes together, and it's so well done.
Light the Night is an amazing opportunity to join your neighbors, your family, your friends, to do something positive in the fight against cancer. It's one of the best ways I know that you can be on the front line of that battle because you're raising funds to fund the research and get the work done.
I'd just like to add that you should join Light the Night and that support the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society no matter how you feel you can. It's the most amazing organization to be a part of, and it's rewarding and it saves lives and it brings hope to people like me. So please join and keep supporting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Awesome. Wow. Next year, when we have the list of national partners in next year's video, and I'm back here in front of another group or someone else is back here in front of another group, Foundation Beyond Belief will be listed. And that will go out in all of our videos to the corporate sector as well as to family teams. As you can see, this is going to be an amazing event. The walks are unique, family-oriented events that raise much-needed funds, celebrate lives touched by cancer, and provide an opportunity to remember loved ones lost. The first step to success is to set a fundraising goal. This year, the Foundation Beyond Belief goal is $500,000 with matching funds for a total of $1 million. When, I'm not going to say if, when your team nationally raises $1 million this year, you will be the first team ever to raise $1 million in their first year in our walks. And we are going to do everything we can with your teams to give you the tools to blow that away. That's why I'm here today. What I want to do is talk to you about what you need to do next to make that happen as soon as we can get it to happen before these walks are over in the fall. And that's what the next slide is going to start to talk about. Form a team. If you're not already registered, it's really easy to do. All you got to do is either go on to lightthenight.org or just go on to SSA's website. You're going to find a link to register and more. That's it right there. and more information about our partnership and more information on fundraising. Additionally, today you have the opportunity out in the lobby to stop by a table that's got information about your national team and some things that are going on. Brittany's got it set up out there. One thing that she gave me that's going on between now and the 14th, FBB is challenging the Free Thought community to add 5,000 new walkers between July 7th and 14th. An anonymous donor will give $1 for every new walker you register between now and July 14th. So that would be $5,000 if you hit that goal. If you double that goal, that'll be $10,000. The captain with the most new walkers is going to win a $50 American Express card. So this is out there at Brittany's table. Make sure that you pick this up. And if you're not registered, go get registered. If you are, start registering those team members. There's another website where you can join teams, and it's on this through lightthenight.org/2012/FBB. And I think when you go to that, it's going to list all the FBB affiliated teams, whether it's a your Secular Student Alliance or another team, because they all should end in FBB and they should all be up there, and you could actually join a team there. If that doesn't work, call SSA here, poke around, figure it out. It's pretty easy to register for the team you want to register for. If you need to register a team, we'll help you with that. If you need help, so will SSA. Another flyer that's out there is from FBB, and it's about why we were selected. Every 10 minutes, someone dies from blood cancer. LLS has invested $800 million plus. The figure I gave you was the end of last fiscal year. We just ended a fiscal year. We are now over $800 million that we've invested in research, and I'll have a new figure pretty soon. And because we provide direct patient financial aid support and education services. The Stifle family will match up to $500,000 through the Free Thought Foundation. All they're asking of you is to go home and get busy and do this. There are some ideas up here for fundraising events as well. Pastafari and pasta dinners, send an atheist to church, garage sales, barbecue parties, other kinds of things. Our staffs have them all. On behalf of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, I want to thank you. I want to thank Liz for having us here. I want to thank all of the organizations, including FBB, that are involved. And all I'm asking you to do is enjoy the rest of your time in Columbus, and when you get home, register for Light the Night. Thank you.